Guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings. Guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings. Guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings. Guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings. Guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another In the Stars with Dwayne. And I don't know if you guys are having technical issues, but I have been. And I think it might have something to do with the astrology that we're dealing with at the moment. But as usual, it's the end of the month, and I'm here with, of course, the lovely Stacy the Black Feather. Welcome, Stacy.
Hi, Dwayne. Oh my God, the technology stuff has been going crazy for me too. So you are not alone. Keone and I had a couple of little hiccups earlier today. We were doing some recordings and we had a couple of hiccups too. So
Yeah,
don't worry. It actually
it
makes
happens
me
to
feel better
everybody.
to know that I'm not alone because this kind of shit happens to me all the time. And I won't say I'm not I'm not technically dumb, but I wouldn't say I'm particularly technically savvy either. So when I run into a problem, I panic and I just call 10 people. Can you help me? I don't understand what's happening. Sometimes they're like, well, did you check YouTube? And I'm like, oh, damn it.
You
I
know,
should have just checked YouTube.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
So the real introduction is welcome to the Disaster Hour with Dwayne and Stacy.
Yeah. Hey, it's called reality. It really sells.
Yes, it does. So how's your month been?
It's been very busy, very crazy, very hot. But I'm loving it. I'm doing so much great fun stuff. dealing with emotional stuff too. I think because of the cancer stuff we're starting to get into, and that brings up old stuff. And I had weird dreams last night. That's
Oh
the kind of thing that's happening right now with the full moon just passing, and it's wild. I had all these snakes in my dream last night,
yeah.
and then when I looked
Ooh.
it up, it said that snakes in your dream mean that you are letting go of something toxic.
Yeah, it's transformation, shedding your skin, moving into a new chapter. It's also a wisdom, a lot of wisdom. So the fact that there were so many different snakes in there says to me that what you're shedding, you're making room for, and you're taking the wisdom from those experiences as you're
Yeah.
leaving all the rest behind.
Right, not fighting it. Because I know a lot of people that are fighting wisdom on a daily basis. They just refuse to listen to anything.
Hey,
Yeah.
leave me out of this.
How did he know I was talking about him?
Because you talked about me twice. Stacy mentioned my full moon again, and then here you go.
Yeah, we should call this Here's Keone, Here's the World.
Right.
Nobody was talking about you, Mary.
Too funny. Too freaking funny.
So we have so much going on, and like I said, it's an emotional month, so get your freaking Kleenex ready, okay?
Yeah.
Um, and the first thing that's happening is July 5th is a new moon in Cancer. Cancer is the moon. So that means we're doubling up on the Cancer water energy, the emotional stuff. So get ready. Now is a good time to have a colonoscopy. That's what I think. Just kind of clean. In fact, get an upper endoscopy and a colonoscopy and just skewer yourself so that by, August,
Keep a
when it
fork
comes
in me.
around
I'm
to
done.
Leo, we can have fun.
Oh my goodness. I got to tell you what you're saying to me right now, even though I know it's true. I just want to say it ain't so. Say it
I
ain't
know.
so. I, so February and March were months that like the tears flowed, and they flowed in ways that like they flowed in public, they flowed in private, they flowed in the middle of the night when I didn't even know what the hell was going on. And I don't do well in those spaces. And maybe it's the perfectionist in me, the control freak in me, the whatever it happens to be. I don't like to, I'm fine to be in the presence of, and I'm a sympathetic crier. So I don't have a problem with crying with you,
Right.
talking about your things. But when it's my shit, I'm like, oh my God, like stop it already. Like, when is it going to end? So when you're saying to me that we're coming up on that right now, I'm just like, my heart is going, oh, not again. Like, how much more? I feel like I've cried more this year than I probably have in the last 15. And that includes like a divorce and deaths and, like friendships disappearing and things like that. Like, this year is like the culmination of all of that. And maybe that's what I'm releasing, is just releasing all the, but I cried in those things too. So
Yeah.
like, oh,
Hey,
I don't need more.
I think the best thing you can do is just have it in your mind. If you didn't expect it and nobody said, "Hey, watch out for some emotional stuff coming up," and it just happened, it might be like a real, kind of a loop. Whereas if you're kind of prepared for it, you're going to say to yourself, and that's the thing, just don't fight it and say, in the next
Right.
couple of weeks, things might get emotional and that might actually keep you from crying because you start
Yeah.
to, instead of just delving into just that feeling, which is what makes you cry, you're actually thinking about, well, why am I feeling this way? Oh, it's because of this or because of a memory or something. So much better,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, no, you're right, Dwayne. I need to practice what I freaking preach. I mean, that's what it is. I say all these things to other people, and I mean it. I genuinely mean it. I think for me, I'm hardest on myself. So, the idea of crying in public, and I mean, I'm not like extreme with this. I have no problems crying in public if I
Well,
need
and you
to.
don't have to cry in public. You can cry alone
Right.
in the bathroom on the floor with a glass of champagne and a
Oh
pumpkin.
God.
Right.
That doesn't matter.
Exactly. Fetal
No, but
position. Cry with my fur babies, right?
Stacey,
But
you
my
know,
point is I don't want to cry. I'm done with tears. Like
well,
I'm done
that's what
with it.
Cancer Moon is about. Cancer Moon is the time to talk about that with yourself because it's all about the emotions. So it gives you the okay to do that.
The
Stacey, the
okay to
thing
be
that
content with the tears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stacey, the thing that you were just talking about that you give so much advice that you don't take, it's just a natural order of things. It's like I have friends that are teachers, but then when they go back to school, they turn back into the student mind and they make mistakes that they would yell at themselves if they were the teacher, you
Right.
know. So, because I had a professor who turned in an editorial. She's got 2 doctorates degrees. She turned in an editorial. They sent it back to her with 122 mistakes. I said, "How did you make 122 mistakes?" She says, "Because I'm in student mode. I'm in
Uh,
subordinate mode, and my brain flips."
yeah. No, it's very true. And I don't know about you guys, but so I've been feeling overwhelmed, but in a very different way. So here's how I'm going to describe it. There's no need for me to feel overwhelmed. My schedule has been quite light, lighter, very much lighter than it is normally, and that it has been in some time. There's plenty of time for me to do things and stuff. And when I sit down to actually say, okay, let me make use of this time, and I think I said this in the last show too. So I haven't moved out of this phase. Is I'm like, okay, well, I'll get done the things that I absolutely have to do. But in terms of like working ahead or working forward or working on something that I really want to be working on, I'm like, I don't have the energy. I just don't want to freaking do it. I have the time, and this would be the perfect time to do it, but I just don't want to. And I would rather and watch Netflix. So this in conjunction with the tears. And I just recently found out, Dwayne, you'll find this interesting. And I might have mentioned this before, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself from last month to this month. But I recently got my progressive chart read, and I discovered that I'm a double Scorpio right
Oh
now,
my God.
and then Sagittarius.
Oh
So
wow.
finding that out, kind of like, I definitely identify with the Libra, the Gemini, the Virgo. I've always identified with that, and primarily the Virgo and the Libra.
Yeah.
But now with all this Scorpio, I'm like, no wonder I'm like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with me. Like, I thought maybe I was like going into premenopause or something. I mean, I've gone for tests, I've gone to the therapist, I've gone to all the places to figure out why the hell has this wall of tears burst open, and the dams burst open, and I can't make it stop. Like, what the hell? And it's the progressive chart.
And it's probably, I can see, over this past few weeks and coming up, Virgo is all about balancing work life. And
Mm.
so you might be diving into work to try to get rid of that stuff or to keep that in the back, and work for you is also probably really cathartic.
Yes, but yet I don't want to do it. I don't want to do any work. I'm just like,
And that's the
nope.
Gemini.
I guess so. Maybe that's what it is my
Yeah,
Gemini
yeah,
is rebelling a little bit and saying, "No, let's go have some fun. Let's."
Yeah, don't
And
be constant on a constant thing. Change it up and make it like air, make it fun.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, we have a doorbell.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
So the technical problems continue. Facebook users are watching the live, but for some reason their comments aren't coming over. So Jocelyn, thank you for commenting this morning. She says, "Oh, I caught you guys. Happy to see you." It's funny. She's been very calm lately, and I don't know what she said. Oh, Judas to, but it had to be to one of your comments that you guys said earlier. But we do have a reading and a horoscope. Um, for those of you who are sending in your for horoscopes, Patty, I'm going to delete your comment so that it's not on here. But please make sure you don't leave the year in your birthday and month. That's for security reasons, okay? But Patty Rhodes, she's April 16th. She
Ah,
would like a horoscope from you, Dwayne, and then if you could give her a reading, Stacy. So we'll start with Dwayne for Patty, April 16th.
all right. So that means she's an Aries sun sign, and of course, as we always say, If you don't know all of your signs, your rising and stuff, then we're just talking about your sun sign. So, of course, it may just be a fraction of the whole picture. So, keep that in mind. But for an Aries, it's all about embracing new beginnings. This is all your whole life is about how do I start things? The problem is sometimes it's not how do I finish it? It's just how do I start it and have a great time doing the start and then letting it go. And that's why you work well with giving things off to people that you've begun and that you want to grow. And that means you're the kind of person who needs to think, I need the right person for the job. You're not a micromanager. You're not a person who tells people, you tell them once, this is how we need it done, and then you expect them to build for themselves. The other thing for Aries is you are the sign of, if you are not on my side explicitly, then you are on the other side and you must be destroyed. And so you have to be careful because somebody might step on your foot. They're not trying to hurt you, but you can get very angry at things like that. So just keep that under control, especially now when it comes into this time of water, which is emotion. Someone could do something very minor and you could explode on them, like the little fire guy in the movie Inside Out. I don't know if you've seen that, but everybody should see that movie. It's all about the way that our brains work and how we feel and stuff. And that little red guy with the fire coming out of his head, that's you, Aries. Be careful. What do you got, Stacy?
I love that. I actually love that movie Inside Out. It's so sweet. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, there's finally a Disney movie out there that actually explains how my brain works. Like,
Yeah, and part
I
two's coming out.
I use that movie in an example in one of the when a class that I teach on emotions. I always ask, all right, I'm going to call your name. I want you to say an emotion and tell me if it's good or bad. So I'll call a name like Stacy, and she'll go angry, bad, and Dwayne will go happy, good, and they'll get done. And I'll say, guys, there's no such thing as a bad emotion. Emotions are necessary. We have them for a reason. The
yeah.
only thing that's bad is what you do with the emotion. So if Dwayne is mad and he decides to play video games to feel better, he had a bad emotion for something. I mean, he had an angry emotion and he handled it. If Stacy gets angry and decides to take a baseball bat and go to the supermarket and start hitting people, she didn't handle her emotions well. It's like we have those emotions. They're so necessary and they're telling us things. So I always use, and then I go, did you see the movie Inside Out? They tried the entire movie to get rid of sad, and then they realized, oh crap, we need sad.
We need sad because sad is the contrast, right? If we don't understand the lack of light, how do we understand the light? If we don't understand the loss of happy, how do we really appreciate and admire and embrace happy? It's the same thing. And we live in a world of duality. There's
And joy
What,
is fucking annoying sometimes.
yeah. What happens when you joy? He said joy is fucking annoying sometimes.
joy is annoying in the movie.
Well,
Oh,
no. Well,
But
joy
those
can help.
people who are just joyful no matter what
oh, everyone's
happens,
like,
Right.
yay!
I
Yeah.
think it's also a specific time. We've all had a job where that coworker way too early in the morning is way too happy. You
yes.
just want to smack them. Uh, and that's always
Well, and you
something.
know how I know? Because I used to be that person, until I realized what an annoying prick I was being. Like, if you're happy, be happy. Don't try to make everyone else happy. Maybe somebody wants to be in a bad freaking mood.
It's
You know what I
even worse when it's the coworker at 5 a.m. who likes to smoke a cigarette and drink coffee and likes to be right in your face when they talk.
Yeah,
Oh,
with the hot garbage breath. Yeah.
oof. Yeah, it's I love working for myself. I love only having the animals to worry about in the
Oh
morning.
yeah,
I say this all the time. I'm not opposed to partnership and connectivity and connection and all of those things, but I'm gonna always have my own space. I don't need to get married. I don't need to live and cohabitate with another person.
wait,
I am perfectly content to share my life with me.
you don't need to get married, you said?
I don't need to get married or cohabitate in
Well,
order.
I guess I'll take this wedding ring back to the pawn shop I was keeping in my pocket to spring on you one day.
Oh, that's a wedding ring?
I'm happy
Oh,
to
I thought it was
wear
something
it.
else.
I'm happy to wear it. If you want me to wear it, I'll wear it. No problem.
Uh,
But we're
so,
just not going to live together. That's just the
yeah.
way it is. You can have a drawer. That's what you can have. You can have a drawer and maybe a cupboard if I feel generous.
Oh, this would be a volatile situation. Yeah. Imagine the three of us, like a threes company. Couldn't it be funny? I'm Chrissy. Stacy, you're you're what's her name? Damn it. Joyce DeWitt. I
Janet,
don't know what her
Joyce,
name was.
Janet, Joyce.
Janet.
Stacy's
And
gonna be
Joni is
Stacy's
Jack.
gonna be the person in the relationship that has the good credit that we put her name on everything.
Yeah, right. I come in from the roller derby with my my roller
Dave,
skates.
Yeah.
Oh
Dwayne,
my God.
I see another show in your midst. I see another show for you to produce.
Yeah, Three's Company, Cumpany.
You know what? I can see me being the person that always gets annoyed because when people come over to the house that don't know, I open the door and they hand me their coat. I'm like, I don't work here. These are
Oh, that's funny.
This is my
That's another
house.
show.
Yeah, that'll be another show.
Oh,
Clearly.
you know what? We forgot all about Patty. Let's get Patty.
No, I haven't forgotten. I got a card. I'm just waiting. So, Patty, I pulled a card for you today, and this is really about what you most need to know about this Cancer season for you and moving into Leo. And you've got Nine of Swords. And this is from the Lightseers Tarot, and I love this depiction. I love this deck, and I love this depiction because the Nine of Swords often represents the nightmare that we live in, or the monkey mind, the thoughts in our head, the sorrow, the despair, but we get caught up in the things that we can't control. And I want to say to you, what I'm hearing today is this is really a card of surrender for you. So the next month, while we're in Cancer season in Leo, I really feel like this is about you surrendering to what is. And I'm hearing a radical surrender to what is. I don't want to imply that this next month is going to be hell on earth for you, because I don't feel that. But I do feel that you're going to have some of those waves, some of that up and down. And when you are sort of in I want to say the ebb of the wave, it's going to be really important for you to not get too bogged down in the feelings and the emotions, but instead to pop up into the realm of the mind, not the monkey mind, the realm of the mind that says everything shifts, everything changes, and this too will shift and change. So let me accept exactly what it is that I'm being seen and being shown in this moment right now without judgment, without Keone, I'm getting some feedback. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what that is either. It's Dwayne. Dwayne's having a calamity. It's coming from his
Okay. Okay. I was like, oh my God, I'm hearing things. So I feel like for you, Patty, it's really giving yourself permission to use the mind as the tool, not to allow the mind to go willy-nilly, but to use the mind as a tool and to say, okay, let me look at this realistically, and let me consider it is what it is. So if I know that, and knowledge is power, and knowing is half the battle, what do I want to do with this knowledge? When we take ourselves into that space, we empower ourselves.
Dwayne, you're echoing. Are you watching the video? If you are, muted.
Or I can't change what is coming at me or what is in my face and in my space, but I absolutely can make some plans towards how I'm going to navigate these waters and navigate through this energy. And what I'm really drawn to with this card is that there's this beautiful single white bird spirit. I'm hearing like divine spirit, right? In amongst all of the tangible, the blackbirds that are here in the world. And I feel these are all of your thoughts. These are all of your concerns. These are all of the things that you're feeling a bit anxious about. And the white bird is basically, it's kind of giving like a little force field. Sorry, I'm doing the screen thing and I can't see properly, but I'm trying to point to this part. So it's almost like it's giving a shield to all of the negative or all of those monkey mind thoughts. So trust and know that you are being supported, you are being protected, you are being loved, and that it's really about all it takes is one positive thought, one positive step in the right direction in order for you to um, not negate the negative thoughts, but to counterbalance them. And that's something that is in the metaphysical community, this idea that we think 50-50. We think very linearly in these human bodies on this planet. But the metaphysical community says, hey, the light quotient to dark quotient doesn't have to be 50-50. It needs to be like, I don't know what it is, if it's like a 80-20 or 70-30 or whatever. The light always shines itself on the dark and on the shadows. So even when the shadow is there and it's prevalent, as long as there's one light, if you think about one candle flame, that one candle flame might not be enough to light the entire room, but it provides light to that, foot or foot and a half around it. And two candle flames, makes that exponential. So I feel like for you, the key word that I want to give you is hope. This is a month for you to really focus on the hope of what is coming up and leaning into that. Again, I don't want to give you the impression it's going to be a bad month. It's not. But there are going to be moments where you can easily get caught up in this. So radical acceptance of what is. Look at, okay, here's what I'm dealing with and here's where I want to be. So what do I need to do? What do I need to receive? Guidance, give me, divine guidance. Speak to me. Tell me what the next step is. And that's my hope. I get to change all of this just with this one thought, and what a difference it makes. Girl, I hope that makes some sense to you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I feel like I was going on and on and on. We're still having technical difficulties in the background.
It was perfect for you to go on and on and on because actually, Jocelyn, and I always say her name. I've been saying her name wrong for 2 years now.
Yes, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. She's co-producing with me today, so I'm gonna have to cut her a check because Facebook is not connecting. I'm in Facebook, so I can see all the comments, but Facebook's not connecting, and then so she's telling me things that are happening that I can't see.
Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you for taking one for the team.
Yeah, so it's been
you get the honorary star today.
And then you're doing a great job of filibustering while Dwayne is doddering around.
I'm great with fill in space. That's my Gemini moon. I can.
That's your Gemini moon. That is funny. And Jacqueline said, "Beautiful reading." Let's see. Someone left a comment earlier. Oh, my favorite person that I was glad to meet in person now, Jose said, "Keep it spicy." Patty says, Stacy, you are an angel. Thank you so much. You made perfect sense and exactly what I need.
Oh, thank you, Patty. I'm so glad that resonated with you. I'm so happy because I just felt like I was like all over the map. So that's good. And for what it's worth, I understand being a Libra rising. I'm very much in my head all the time. And whenever Nine of Swords comes up for me in readings, I kind of groan because I'm like, okay, there's that message again. I'm too much in my head. I've got so much anxiety. What do I need to do to kind of rein it in? So yeah, I feel you.
And Jacqueline's got a really neat one for Dwayne. She's gave me when she was born, and we talked about time of when you're born. So when he gets back on, hopefully he can connect back, and I can give him the day, month, and time, and see what he has to say about that. But you guys, I hate when I have to make y'all go back to back because I feel like y'all need oxygen. But until he gets back on, we have a new person that has been on our live today, Thalia Hansen. I don't know if you know them personally, but I haven't seen that name before. So thank you for coming. And they said they would like a reading, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think I know Thalia. I think I know Thalia under a different name. I'm not 100% sure, but I
Okay.
think it's under a different name. But happy to tune in here. And oh, this card just flipped right out. So this is what you need to consider for this next month. And I love this 10 of Pentacles. So there's going to be I want to say, some ancestral healing. I feel that's coming up for you. So even though we are in that, I want to say, that Cancerian energy and emotions and feelings coming up, this doesn't feel like it's like in the moment right now, family problems or issues or situations. It feels a little bit more like your healer is being called upon. The inner healer is being called upon to really step into that um, awareness of how connected we are to our genealogy, to the family members that came before us, to where we've, from a DNA perspective, come from. Because DNA, from a metaphysical perspective, is very important. The DNA is our Akashic records. The DNA carries all the memory of our past and parallel lives. It carries the memory of our soul mission and purpose and energy and things of that nature. Yes, there's the scientific component, obviously, to DNA and the physical body and all that kind of stuff. And it's also the library of all of the history that we need. I would say it's our divine blueprint in that way. So I feel like for you with this 10 of Pentacles, and this doesn't feel dark or deep. It feels more like you're excited about it. It's something that you set an intention to do. It's something that you decide, I'm really going to connect to my ancestors and either listen for the message that they have for me or offer to them gratitude and thanks. I'm also seeing that there's a ritual that's going to be presented to you. I feel like it might be something that you come across online and you say, oh, that sounds like an interesting ritual or an interesting ceremony. I think I'd like to try that. And I see that being something that the ancestors are going to feel honored, and they're going to honor you as a result. And I see, like, whenever you do this sort of ritual or the ceremony, and by ritual and ceremony, it doesn't need to be huge. It can be something that's just in your mind. So just be open to that. What I keep seeing is the next day you get tangible, verifiable evidence that they heard you, that things have shifted, that there was a release, that you really were connecting with those ancestral spirits. Also, I'm always drawn to the dog, but I'm specifically drawn to the dog for you here. And I feel like either you're getting a new spirit guide, an animal in your life coming, sorry, not spirit guide. You're either getting a new animal that's going to be coming into your life in your space, or you're getting a new, spirit animal, or you're being invited and encouraged to connect with the animal world, because there is an animal spirit guide that wants to help you out, wants to guide you, wants to give you information. And I, with the dog is loyal. So I feel like this is loyal companionship. And I feel all of this in your your interior environment. So not to say that this month you don't have anything going on in the exterior, but I definitely feel that a lot of what I'm tapping into that's going to be significant, important, where you need to really be present and intentional with it, is in that internal self-awareness journey. So it's going to be a profound month for you. I feel you're going to come out the other side of this with a whack of clarity. And I'm hearing the word confidence coming through, with a little more confidence. And who doesn't want a little more of that? The majority of us that, are watching these kinds of videos and things, we're not megalomaniacs. We are actually just learning to use our voices and learning to be able to shine our lights. So the confidence piece, I feel, is really important. I hope that makes some sense to you. Thanks so much for letting me tune in for you.
Dwayne, do a test. Make sure Stacy can hear you. Go ahead.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
There we go. Thalia says, I've been doing a lot of ancestral healing. Yes, I love you, Stacy.
Aw, you're so sweet. I love that. I love you back. Sending lots of love all around.
All right, Dwayne, I got a neat one for you because you always talk about if people know the time of day that they were born. And so Jackie wants a horoscope, and she is July 6th. So she's coming up July 6th, and she was born at 9:38 p.m. And I think PA means Pennsylvania. But she was born at 9:38 p.m.
And well, see, the problem with that is with your time, that only matters along with the place and time of your birth and all of that. So
Yeah,
without
PA.
getting all of her information,
It's Pennsylvania.
yeah. So the best thing to do would be, let's see, if 12 would be, at that point, would be Cancer. So every 2 hours it changes. So it goes from Cancer to Leo, that's 12 to 2. Leo to Virgo, that's 2 to 4. 4 to 6 would be Virgo to Libra. And 6 to 8 would be Libra to Scorpio. And then 8 to 10 would be Scorpio to Sag. So she's Sagittarius rising most likely. And depending on leap years and things like that. And the idea for Cancer is right now personal growth blooms. So it's all about personal growth. But if you're a Sagittarius rising, then it's all about new horizons. So if you put those together, you have new horizons of personal growth. That's your kind of focus for this next month. And by new horizons of personal growth, it means do things that are uncomfortable but that interest you. So things that maybe give you interest and make you feel good, but are make you kind of uncomfortable. And I don't mean bungee jumping, but that's an extreme version of it. If you don't want to do something crazy, it doesn't mean stuff that gives you butterflies either. It could be something that kind of makes you feel like you can't do it. Learning a language, something of that nature. So think about what you want and move forward. And also, Cancer, you're going to be real sexual in the next couple weeks. So hopefully you got something to back into in your little crab cave to give you some warmth and happiness. So that's my reading from here in the beyond in the blackness.
So Jackie said that's amazing. So I'm going to add a third segment to our show coming up because I've been asked by email. They've seen a couple shows where I gave insight on Stacy's shows, like when Stacy's not there, and so I want to add an advice segment. So I'm going to take some of these questions that we really don't do horoscopes or readings for. And so Mr. Pedro says, is my boyfriend Tyler mad at me because I shaded him 2 songs from 7 songs I sent him by message today? Will he talk to me, but getting time for himself? So when it comes to things like that, Pedro, you're the one in the relationship and you know that person better than me, Stacy, or Dwayne. And in your statement, you say that you shaded him with 2 songs. So just think about that for a second. If you purposely sent someone messages to shade them because of whatever emotion you were having, then there might have the appropriate equal emotion or greater, because we can't dictate someone's response to our emotion. So what you have to do when you do that, if you feel by the word shaded that you probably handled that wrong, you would be the first to send an apology and say, let's talk about it when you're ready. And then give that person space and time to think, reflect, and talk about it. What you can't do is beat yourself to death over a 48-hour period because that person's not talking to you based on his reaction to what you did. So that's
What the hell is going on right now?
Dwayne didn't hear the first part of that. It's in the advice segment. So that's the advice I would give to you, Pedro, because the one thing you don't want to do when you're, especially when you're in a relationship or dealing with someone that you like, is when you put them in a mode, you don't want to become overbearing because it's just going to make it worse. So say your piece and then allow that person to respond when they are ready. Inundating them with messages is only going to make it worse.
And
That
I'll just piggyback on that a little bit and say as well that sometimes we are nervous or scared with potential partnerships or with our partnerships to tell the truth because we're afraid of being rejected. And what happens in those cases is it sounds like you sent him some songs that you felt, this is a way that I can communicate how I'm feeling towards you, but it's being received or maybe coming across in a more passive aggressive way rather than maybe saying, listen, I'm feeling some things and I'm having a hard time finding the right words to express them to you, so I'm going to send you some music that is helping me to feel more connected to how I'm feeling about this situation. Can you listen to the songs and then we can talk about it? I would say that I feel like the issue for you is not so much that you're throwing him shade as much as there are things that you feel that he's not hearing you on, and you're feeling like the only way to get your attention is by doing something that's a little bit bigger or kind of forces the issue. And when we do things like that, it doesn't always turn out the way we want, especially if we've got a partner who's like, oh, yeah, you're going to do that? Well, let me put my stick in the
yeah,
mud. And
yeah.
now them fighting words and it's on. So, just some food for thought on that, that maybe you want to take a look at what it is that is your truth, what it is that you are trying to get him to understand about you, or what you're trying to get him to hear or see, and find a slightly different way to set up setting those songs to him. Because, let's face it, music helps us with our expressions. It is a way for us to express our emotions, our creativity, our feelings. And, someone else's words can really give us a voice. So I think you were on the right track. It was just maybe the way you set it up sort of left you a little bit in limbo and leaves him not understanding what's going on.
Dwayne, I also call it the movie syndrome. There's things that happens in movies and it always works out, and it doesn't happen like that, you know, in real life. And those things kind of lead to that. Jackie says, "Oh, she likes the addition of my segment. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I'm going to be a part." And then she said, "Thank you, Dwayne, for your horoscope reading." Um, and she said, "Oh, nice, Keone. Yay, I got compliments." Uh, Nancy Drew said, "Hello, love your work. Thank you. We all
Oh,
appreciate you."
thank
Patty
you.
says, "I'd love to hear some of your routines, self care tools for recentering and releasing monkey mind anxiety. Thanks for sharing." And then, do you know Patty?
I don't, it's, Patty, if I've read for you before, don't take this personally. I read for so many people, and when I'm in the clouds, I don't retain names or anything like that. So thanks, Keone, for putting me on the spot. I
No,
appreciate
I
you.
just asked because if she's new, I always like to tell people that this is a good segue into how they can get a more, one-on-one, guidance on these type of things as well. I know you're going to say something, but I always want. Oh, she's Dwayne's connection. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Thank you,
that's
Patty, for thank you, Dwayne, for bringing Patty to us.
yes, that's
Oh,
exciting. Okay, so
you,
Patty wants to
yeah,
know about
I forgot I
self
was
care.
Go
Dwayne,
ahead, Dwayne. What
sorry,
were you saying?
Dwayne's talking.
Oh, I
Okay.
just said I forgot I was here. All these freaking tech issues, but I didn't give up. I still didn't give up.
Yay! Dwayne's here. We made it.
You only have 14 more minutes of this anxiety. But I'll put that back up. She was saying, "I'd love to hear some of your routine self care tools for recentering and releasing monkey mind anxiety." And she's
Oh,
only the
me? I
second
thought she was
person.
asking. I I thought she was asking Stacy.
Yeah, she's asking
well,
Stacy.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And I was gonna say she's only the second person I've ever heard say monkey mind besides you, so I'm happy she said it.
Oh yeah, it's. I thought that was like a pop,
oh my God, I'm hearing that all over the place. So I guess that's the new term, monkey mind.
I've been using it for years
So
and
tell
years.
us what that is for those of us who don't know what you mean by monkey mind.
Yeah, so we think about monkeys in a circus. You guys also hear me say, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Mhm.
So if you picture monkeys, and we think about like when monkeys get released out of the cage, they go bananas, they go berserk, they get into things, they're hanging off the walls and the rafters, and they're getting into the garbage, and they're, doing all, it's mayhem, right? It's chaos, it's mayhem. So when I say monkey mind, that's what it feels like, is there's like all of those thoughts are monkeys, and they're all just going in crazy different directions. They're all doing their own things, and you can't contain it, right? It's just complete chaos. I also like to talk about my monkey mind as being Grand Central Station with 57,000 trains on different tracks. Some are going slower, some are faster, some are express trains, some stop at every thing, some are on the track for repair. This is the energy of the monkey mind. So it's my kooky sense of humor. I thought it was pop culture reference, so I didn't know. That seems to be a theme for me lately, that my humor is very movies and pop
Mhm.
culture reference. And I have a good friend of mine, actually, who I made a comment and she took it personally, and it created this whole thing, and I felt so awful. I made her cry, and I'm like, oh my
Oh.
God, you've known me for 10 years. I would never say anything like that and actually mean it. I was just trying to be funny. But and we went through this, and then we discovered, oh, she never saw the movie. She doesn't know. Like, she's like, I don't know that reference. I don't live in the world. I live in my own little world. And I was like, oh my God. So thank you for this experience, because I have to be more aware of the languaging I use. People hear me and think I must be a horrible, ignorant person, but I'm really not. It's just my sense of humor. But anyway,
Hey, I get the same thing. Can you imagine?
oh, sure, you with your comedy and stuff. Yeah, I mean, people hearing you or meeting you for the first time and not knowing that you're a comedian, they might be a little bit like, "What's this guy's deal?"
Well,
exactly. And it took me a while too, because I didn't realize people wanted that for a long time. And I used to be so nice about everything and so sweet and like a Mormon, which I am a Mormon. The more men, the better. But
Dwayne, so something Stacy just said that always bothers me. It's one thing when someone new doesn't get where you're coming from, but it's when people have a meltdown that have known you for a long time and should know your intent, right? I remember a long time ago, my sister posted on Facebook because she found a boyfriend, and she posted it, and I said, "Hey, who's this person I didn't approve of?" And she calls me. She writes back. She's like, she's angry about my thing. So I called her. I said, "Hey." She said, "What?" She goes, "You thought I was serious?" She goes, "You weren't?" I said, "Have you met me? You're my sister." She's like, "Oh." I'm like, "What?" Like, you know me. Like, you should know that was not the intent, even if that's how it came out. You should know that by now. And I always tell people the best thing you want to do when something happens is always measure the intent. It doesn't
Oh,
always come out right. There are people, friends and family, who are trying to be helpful, and it comes out the wrong way. You can be annoyed that it did, but don't be upset if you know that family member or friend and you measure their intent. What was their intent? Not what happened.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you and I, Keone, stopped being friends because you were an asshole. Or I was an asshole, or anybody was an asshole, we wouldn't even be talking. And anybody in my life is like that, because they know that my intentions are never anything other than truth and honesty. And you're a Sag rising, so you're the same freaking way.
Well, I can never get rid of you. I asked Stacy to pull a card if I'd stay friends with you forever, and she did not pull the devil card or death, so that was good.
Good. We're golden.
And now we realize that Stacy with her Sagittarius is just like us. It's the three of us.
Yeah, it's the sad show.
And Jocelyn said we're three's a company. She said that earlier in
Yeah.
the Facebook text. I mean, the Facebook.
You go, Janet.
Janet.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
Janet
Three's
in Three's
Company.
Company. Come on, Keone.
I'm
Keep
Chris,
up.
and you're
Keep up.
Jack.
I know. Listen. All right. Okay. I love Three's Company, but I was also like 5 or 6, 7 years old. Okay, I'm not 50.
Yeah,
So
well, me too, but that Jack was hot in those days.
depending,
I wouldn't have said that, but okay.
it's
Used to wear
depending.
those tight pants.
Depending on where you're from. Today it's different, but I remember about 5 years ago, every time GQ, when I was growing up, every time GQ would put out like top 50 sexiest men in the world or top 10, I would always be like, where are the black people? you know.
Oh, sure.
Exactly. Oh my God! Do you know one of my first crushes was the dad on Good Times because he was so hot, and Willie Amos, I think his name is, or something.
Jonathan Amos.
Yes,
You were attracted
and
to
he's a
Jonathan.
Capricorn.
Jonathan Amos has been the same age for 40 years. How are you
I know because he's a Capricorn. He's like Mary J. Blige. She's another one,
There
and
you
Kate
go.
Moss. They don't age.
I'm trying to see Nancy. Please check the chat. I'm trying to see if you want a horoscope. Nancy Drew. I just realized what her name is.
Yeah,
Nancy Drew.
Drew. Yeah.
So I'm tickled to know if that's actually her real name or she's just using the name Nancy Drew.
It's her stage name? Yeah, I don't know.
Because that would be amazing if that was actually her real name. You know,
Yeah.
everybody that's out here, if you go to Stacy's YouTube or you go to Keone Productions YouTube, she did a very great interview on Rise with Lisette. Stacy doesn't do a lot of interviews, but when she does, she always delivers. It was a great interview because we got three facets of Stacy. We got to hear about some troubling past. We got to hear about her tenure as an opera singer. So a lot of people, not some people don't know about that, and they'll get an insight on that. And then she got to talk about how she how she developed into an intuitive and a psychic reader. And the most unique thing about the show is it's a Christian show hosted by Lisette Cornegay, who's a devout Christian. And it was a very healthy and good conversation that
Yeah.
had a lot of opinions and conversation, and it was good. So check that out if you're always interested in learning more about Stacey, because we all can't show up at her house and ask her questions. Go ahead and check that interview out. It's an amazing interview.
Yeah, it went a lot better than I was anticipating just because I wasn't sure how that blend was going. I have a lot of Christian friends.
Yeah.
The Christian friends I have tend to be, I would say, more modern, sort of modern progressive thinking Christians, but you don't always get that. Like my family is not that way. I have a couple of people in my family who are a little more like that, but they're pretty much staunch and traditional with that. So I didn't know what to expect, but it was very pleasant. I enjoyed it.
You know what trick I did on both of them, Dwayne?
What?
So Lisette, being devoted Christian and scared of tarot, kept asking me questions that I wouldn't answer, and Stacy kept like, "Well, what am I expecting?" So I told both of them nothing because I wanted a real interview. So I provided them both purposely with limited information.
Which
Because
was frustrating.
it was frustrating for both of them. But what I didn't want is a scripted kind of, here's your question, here's my answer, here's my question. Not saying they would do that. I wanted raw and authentic, and I think that's what I got. Hey, sometimes producers have to make that choice, even when they're friends. Kim says, "You guys are so funny. Love your show." Thank you, Kim Smith. Uh, and Jackie says, "Thank you for bringing the fun today." That's what we try to do on this, right, Dwayne? We try to bring the fun.
Oh my God. And even through all of the really frustrating tech issues, we made it happen. We proved that the show must go on, and it fucking will. And we're not holding back any punches, bitches.
So to let you guys know what happened, Dwayne, apparently his computer is having problems because he watches way too much porn.
Yeah, right.
He watches way too much porn. He's got so many infections in the computer, not him, in the computer. And his computer's shutting down and he's trying to fix it. So it's been a real problem. But we're going to get him some help. He's going to do a reading with Stacy.
Well, and there was I think there was someone that asked for a horoscope, right? So let's let Dwayne talk
Yes.
a little bit and
Let's see.
give
Who
a
asked for?
horoscope.
Where did I miss a horoscope at?
Maybe Nancy was asking for the horoscope.
Nancy wanted a quick reading. So I was trying to get a horoscope on her. I don't know if she's still here. I asked her, but she wanted a quick reading, and I don't have an answer for her. And we got 3 minutes left, so I guess we'll do a quick reading for Nancy.
Well, not a
All right,
not a
when's your
horoscope.
birthday?
I don't have her birthday or her month, so I don't know if she's actually.
Dwayne, I feel like it's the Stacy show today. So why don't you wing it?
Yeah,
Why don't you give her?
Well,
why
you know
don't
what? But here's the thing, guys. So everybody knows this. Dwayne actually does readings and guidance. It's just
Yeah.
that when we have Stacy on, we try to not double tap the same thing. So here you go.
Yeah, Dwayne, just dive in
Dwayne,
and
let's give Nancy Drew
guidance.
a
Oh, I
reading.
thought Stacy. Okay, so yeah, if so, we don't know anything about her, so I'm going to go on intuition, and my
Yes.
intuition is that she is an Earth sign, if not her sun, maybe her rising, and that means that she needs to really learn how to live life and enjoy things. Like stop making things happen and start enjoying the things that you make happen, and also have a few freaking drinks. I mean, come on. There's not that much to worry about, unless you're in, recovery. Then, in which case, you should have some sugar or I don't know, something that's not really good for you, but not that bad either. So keep that in mind, and wear a lot of. If you have any gold jewelry, that's going to help you a lot in the next couple of weeks. So, how about you, Stacy?
That's going to be good if you have a lot of gold jewelry, but if you live in Detroit, don't be walking down there wearing all that.
Yeah,
gold
be
jewelry.
careful.
Dwayne might have-
Detroit is all new now.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for ruining.
Well,
I don't
it's
go to
like-
your comedy
But
show and ruin
Square
your
Block
jokes, Dwayne.
is new.
Did you see what he
I
did?
didn't know that was a
Did
joke.
you see what he did, Stacy? I don't go to his comedy show and ruin all his jokes.
I didn't ruin it. I just updated it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm gonna do. Next, I'm buying tickets to Dwayne's next show, and I'm just gonna rebuttal it after every joke. Thana says,
Well, it's this Friday night at Peddler's Village, so.
"Oh God."
Oh, cool.
Thana says, "Thank you for putting a
Aw.
smile on my face today. I have a reading with Stacy later
Oh,
today."
fantastic. That's great, then. I can't wait to connect with you. That'll be exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I look
in the
forward to
Facebook
that.
comments, we're getting a lot of thank you for bringing the fun. Yeah, so in the Stars with Dwayne, he does horoscopes, and the Black Feather Intuitive, she does many things, but one of the things I worked on her with is the Mystify the Divine, where she's doing a lot of guidance, a lot of readings. But when they come together, they do both of those, but also it's to deliver the fun. It's the end of the month. You know, it's
Yeah.
the last week. Everybody's had a month, whether it's been a good month, a trying month, a busy month. So
It's
you're
been
ready
a
to get
month.
into the next month, and we just want you to get into that in this month on a good note and get into that next one on a good note.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you. And speaking of the Demystify the Divine, tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard on my YouTube channel to watch Ruffle Your Feathers, badass
Your
monthly
Feathers.
guidance for Phoenix-led transformation. And it's going to be awesome. You guys will love it.
Stacey, yes, watch Ruffle Your Feathers.
Watch Ruffle Your Feathers. Ruffle your feathers.
Because they've been ruffled this morning.
If they've been ruffled this morning, they're going to be ruffled again tonight. That's just the way it is. How we roll.
In the words of Dwayne, today, Stacy, you mentioned trains. So in the words of Dwayne, we've got some trains to catch. Shut up, Dwayne.